Hello friends and welcome to Study Lab. In this lecture, we are going to see a quick revision of the chapter Sets and Relations, which is our topic in the 11th standard. Okay, so we already know what is about set. Okay, this is a quick revision. So you already know what is a set. So as you can see, this is the definition. It is a collection of well-defined objects. Okay, so that is called a set. Now, apart from this, okay, what all should be known to us? We should know what is the different methods in which we can represent a set. So we have the roster form, that is a list method, and we also have the set builder method or the rule method. Okay, and then we have different types of sets. We have empty set, we have finite set, infinite set, singleton sets, and subset. So another important definition over here is of subset. So what is a subset? Okay, a set A is called a subset of B if all the elements in set A is included in the elements of set B. So this is how it is denoted. A is a subset of B. The next thing that we have to understand, okay, it is about proper subsets and about power set. Now there are questions which are based on power set. A set which contains all the subsets of the given set A is called the power set of A. Okay, so as you can see over here, this is an example which is given over here. Okay, so if the question would have been write the subsets of say the set 1, 2 and 3. So what all subsets do we have for this? Okay, that would be the empty set. We would have the singleton set 1, 2, 3. We will have 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3 and we will also have 1, 2, 3. Now out of this, okay, out of this 1, 2, 3 and the empty set, they are called as the improper subsets. Okay, so these two sets are called the improper subsets and the rest of the sets already, that means they are the proper subsets. So you already know all this. So this is about the power set. Okay, equal sets when the elements inside the set are equal, equivalent sets when the number of elements are equal, and then we have the universal set. So when we are discussing some particular type of set, so all the elements are contained in one particular set. Such a set is called the universal set for the sets under discussion. So if we are saying, if we are discussing the letters, okay, we are discussing something about vowels, then the entire set, the 26 letters of English alphabet, that set can be considered as a universal set. If we are discussing say about prime numbers, then we can say that the natural number is the universal set. Okay, so such examples you can consider for universal set. So next we have the complement of a set. So this is about the operations on set. So what is a complement? It is all the elements of A removed from universal set. Okay, so all the elements in the universal set, removing the elements of A, such a set will be called the A complement. So this is the definition given for A complement. So over here if you see the example, if I remove 2, 4, 6 and 8, so the remaining elements 0, 1, 3, 5 and 7, they are considered as the elements in the complement. Okay, so that would be A complement. So this is some property of A complement. So A complement will be equal to A. Complement of the universal set will be equal to empty set and the complement of empty set will be universal set. Next important discussion is about union. So how do we find the union? It is all the elements of set A or the elements of set B. So this is the definition given over here. So all the elements of set A and set B, everything included. So it can be something like this also. So this is all about A union B. So what are the properties that we have about A union B? So these are all the properties that we have about A union B. We can see that the values are commutative, associative. Okay, what is the identity for union and what is the identity for or the idempotent law for the universal for the union of sets. Okay, but these are less important properties, but these properties should be known for the entrance level questions also. So see to it that you are revising these properties also when you are going through the chapter. Next is the intersection. So all the elements which are included in both the sets A and B. So this is included in A and B. Such a set is called A intersection B. Such a set would be A intersection B. Okay. So what are the properties of A intersection B that we have? These are all the properties. Again, you can see the commutativity, associativity, we have idempotent law. Okay. Intersection has these properties over here. What is the identity for intersection and all this. So these are the properties that we have. Okay. Next, the important formula over here is De Morgan's law. Very important formula is De Morgan's law. You should be always understanding this De Morgan's law. If there is something in union, okay, the complement will contain the intersection, and whenever there is intersection, the complement will contain union. So these are also very, very important laws, De Morgan's law. Difference. So what is difference between two sets? Obviously, we are removing elements of one set from the other set. So if I am considering A minus B, what I am doing is from the set A, okay, I am removing the elements of set B. So whatever is left over here, okay, all this will be A minus B, and whenever I am removing elements of set A from B, that would be giving me B minus A. Okay, so this is what about A minus B and B minus A we have to remember. Okay. So this diagram itself is self-explanatory. What is A minus B and what is B minus A? Okay. Next, the property that we can see over here is the symmetric difference between the sets, that is A delta B. This is also an important formula. What is A delta B? It is basically A minus B union B minus A. So everything except for the intersection part. Okay. So you can see in this diagram. Okay. Whatever is except for A intersection B, that much is removed. So whatever is left, A minus B and B minus A together, that will be A delta B. So this is all about the theory part. Next, the most important formulas for the chapter sets is this, the properties based on the cardinality or the number of elements in the set. So we have first of all A union B, N of A union B is N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B. Whenever we are seeing union, always remember that it is corresponding to OR, and whenever we are seeing intersection, always remember it is corresponding to AND. Okay, so OR AND. So whenever the question is the student has passed in first or second exam, that will be A union B. If the question is the student has passed in first and second exam, that would be A intersection B. So you can just keep this in your mind. Okay, same way over here also, A intersection B. Okay, if the sets are disjoint, A intersection B will be 0. So the formula becomes only N of A union B is N of A plus N of B. Remaining formulas that we have for cardinality is this. Okay, so A intersection B complement, all these formulas are very important. Okay, A intersection B complement is nothing but A minus B. Okay, so this is nothing but N of A minus B. So the formula that we can write over here is N of A intersection B complement is N of A intersection B, that value plus N of A intersection B complement is N of A. Or you can just write it as N of A intersection B complement is N of A minus N of A intersection B. So we can write it this way also. Same way for A intersection B intersection A complement, this one also we can write it as N of B minus N of A intersection B. Okay. Next we can see if we add all these values, obviously that will become A union B, but this is not that important, not always used. Okay. Next important formula that we have over here is of A union B union C, that is about 3 sets. So if we are discussing about a question which contains 3 set, okay, say students have passed in the JEE exam, students have passed in the NEET exam, and students have passed in the say board exams. Okay, so there are 3 different sets that we are discussing, so we can have questions somewhat like A union B union C. Okay, so this type of question, in the older standards we had this question like there are some students in a hostel, some students are drinking tea, some students are drinking coffee, and some students are drinking milk. So that type of example, so that is A union B union C. Okay, so that is where we use this formula. Okay, N of A union B union C is N of A plus N of B plus N of C minus N of A intersection B minus N of B intersection C minus N of A intersection C plus N of A intersection B intersection. So this is the formula that we have over here. Next, N of A contains, suppose say m elements, then the number of elements in the power set will contain 2 raised to m elements. This is also an important formula. From this we can say how many proper subsets do a set have. Obviously it will be always 2 raised to m minus 2. Okay, so 2 of the sets are improper, so we will subtract them and we will be left with the proper subsets. Okay, so 2 raised to m minus 1 will be the number of proper subsets if a set contains m number of elements. Okay, and lastly we have the formula for a delta b. So it is n of a plus n of b minus 2 times of n of a intersection b. So we are actually removing the intersection part totally from the discussion. So that is how we will solve this. Next we have the interval topic. Okay, there are questions which are based on intervals also. So what is an open interval? The endpoints are not included. Closed interval, the endpoints are included. Okay, so you can see over here in this the endpoints are not included. In this there is equal to sign, that means the endpoints are included. So closed interval, open interval. Okay, semi-closed interval, that means the first value is included but the last value is not included. Okay, so the point in the first, okay, the value at the start of the interval is included but at the value at the end is not included. Okay, so that means it has got a lower bound but it does not have a upper bound. Same way, semi open interval, that means the first value is not included or the lower bound is not included in the set but the upper value is included. Okay, so it is a semi open interval. Okay, and there are infinite sets also, the set which goes to infinity. So there are these type of intervals as well. Okay, so now we can start with the questions. Okay, so let us start with the exercise. In this, the first few questions, they are based on, okay, so these questions are actually very simple. They are just based on writing the set in the roster form or writing the set in the set builder form, writing the rule for the given values. Okay, so these type of questions are very easy. You can just go through the sums once. Okay, once you have understood the questions, they are not that difficult to solve at all. Same way this question 3, in this we are supposed to find A union B union C and A intersection B intersection C. So for that what we should do is we will first of all find the set A, B and C and then find their union or find their intersection, whatever is required. Now in this, one important question is this question number 5. Okay, many a times, since this contains many parts in this, most of the colleges asked some have asked some parts of this question. Okay, so you can say that all the questions might not be asked in one single exam. Of course that is not possible. There are 10 questions in this, sub questions in this, so obviously not all can be asked, but it is possible like 1 or 2 can be asked for 3 marks. Okay, if 3 questions are asked, maybe it is asked for 4 marks. So the colleges can change this. Okay, they can ask 1 part for or 2 parts for say 3 marks. So that is this possibility. So see to it that you're practicing all the parts in this. This question number 5 is very important. Okay, just so that you can understand a question, let us solve one of them. Okay, suppose I am solving this second question. Okay, there is a small printing mistake in this. In this, it is not A union C, it is A intersection C over here. Okay, so see to it that you are not writing it as union. This is wrong over here. It has to be intersection. So let us solve this part. Okay, so we are supposed to verify that the values are satisfied. The LHS equal to RHS. So the given set A, B and C for the universal set X satisfies the given values, okay, or the properties. So let us see the solution for this. You know, set A is 1, 2, 3, 4 and set B is 3, 4, 5, 6. So set A is 1, 2, 3, 4 and set B is 3, 4, 5, 6, and the universal set X, it contains the elements say it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So these are the elements which are contained in the universal set. So we are supposed to show that, okay, or verify that. Okay, we are supposed to verify A union B complement, the whole complement is A complement intersection B complement. Again, there is a small mistake over here. this should not be A complement intersection B the whole complement, it is A complement intersection B complement. So let us verify this. The property that we have to verify is this: A union B the whole complement is A complement intersection B complement. Okay, so obviously we will have to first of all find what is A union B. So all the elements which are there in set A and B. So what are the elements that we have? It is 1, 2, 3, 4 of course, and we will have 5 and 6. Now when we are writing the complement, obviously we will remove 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 from the universal set. So all this part will be gone. Can you see? All this part will be gone. What will be left is the A union B whole complement. So A union B the whole complement will be equal to 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is what we will get in A union B the whole complement. Of course, we will write this as equation number 1, and then we will solve for A complement intersection B complement. So the complement of A, obviously that will be removing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we should be removing this 1, 2, 3, 4 from the universal set. So that will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And for B complement, okay, what we will be doing is we will be removing 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these 4 values will be removed from the universal set. So we will be left with 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we are going to be left with 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so now we can find their intersection. So A complement intersection B complement. So what are the elements that are common? Okay, so what are the elements that are common? Can you see 7, 8, 9 and 10. So these are the elements that are common: 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is A union B the whole complement in the first equation also, and this is the same value in the second equation also. So we can say that A union B the whole complement is equal to A complement intersection B complement. So this is how we can solve this question. We generally solve the LHS part separately, solve the RHS part separately, and we will verify that the values in the first and the second part we are getting the same. So that is how we solve this type of question, and this is a very, very important question. So you can keep this in your mind that this is a very, very, very important question. See to it that you are solving this question when you are attempting or when you are going for the exams. If you have this topic, then attempt this question, practice this question very well. One more important question over here is this question number 6. This is using the formulas of cardinality. Okay, so see to it that you are seeing the formulas of cardinality. The formulas that you will require over here is n of, okay, A complement intersection B complement. First of all, this, that is the formula for De Morgan's law. Okay, and then we will have n of A union B, and we have A complement intersection B. All these formulas are already known to us, so we can find these values very easily. Okay, so first of all, finding A union B. So to find A union B, we will be requiring this formula, and then hence the remaining formulas are straightforward. To find A intersection B, you will find A union B, and A complement intersection B, it has its own formula. A intersection B complement also has its own formula. The next question that we have over here is this one. This is also a very, very important question. So see to it that you are practicing this question also. Okay, in this you can see in a class of 200 students. So that information, obviously this represents the universal set for us. Okay. So from a class of 200 students who appeared for certain examinations, 35 students have failed in the CET, 40 students have failed in the NEET, and 40 in JEE. So you can see there are 3 sets in this. So the formula that we will be using is A union B union C. Okay, so to find the values of A union B union C, whatever is required, we know the values. So over here 35 students who have failed in MSCET. So this is going to be N of A. 40 in NEET. So this is going to be N of B. And this 40 in JEE, this will be going to be N of C. 20 have failed in CET and NEET. So this is A intersection B, N of A intersection B. 17 in NEET and JEE, that is B intersection C. And lastly, we have CET and JEE, that is A intersection C. And 5 students have failed in all the 3 examinations. So that is A intersection B intersection C. So A intersection B intersection. Okay. So based on this, we can find the number of students those who have passed in all the examinations. How are we going to do that? We will find first of all the number of students those who have failed A union B union C. We will find the number of students who have failed in all the exams, and then we will subtract it from the universal set, that is subtracted from 200. Okay, so 200 minus the number of students those who have failed in all the exams. So the answer will be very simple. You will get the answer. The next question that we have is for NEET or JEE. So NEET was represented by B, JEE was represented by C, and this is OR, so this is B union C. So we will use the formula n of B plus n of C minus n of B intersection C, and we will get the required answer. Same way over here also, in this also you can see, from among 2000 literate individuals, that will be the universal set, 70% read Marathi newspaper, that will be set A, 50% read English newspaper, that will be set B, and 32.5% read both Marathi and English newspaper, that will be A intersection B. And then we can find whatever is required. So we want at least one of the newspaper. So the persons who read at least one of the newspaper. So that is A union. Next we have neither Marathi nor English. So that will be A complement intersection B complement. So this we will get by using n of x minus n of A union B. And lastly, we have only one of the newspapers, so that is A intersection B complement. So they are reading one newspaper. So if they are reading Marathi newspaper, they are not reading English newspaper. Or it is possible that it is A complement intersection B. That means they are reading English newspaper, but they are not reading the Marathi newspaper. So this is what we will have to find for the third part. So can you see this question? In a hostel, 25 students take tea, 20 students take coffee. Same type of question you must have done in the lower standards also. Okay, in the previous years also you must have solved this type of question. So this is just by using A union B union. Over here also in this, it is also question which is based on just cardinality. So there are 260 persons with a skin disorder, universal set. 150 are exposed to chemical A, that is n of A. 74 to chemical B, that is n of B, and 36 to both chemical A and B. So we can easily solve this question. Chemical A but not chemical B. Number of persons who are given chemical A but not chemical B. So we will just apply the formula n of A minus n of A intersection B. You will get the required answer. Same way for the second part. And third is A or chemical B. So that is A union B. So next we have this question which is finding the power set. So again, power set, it is the number of subsets, okay, all the subsets which are possible for set A contained in a set, that will be the power set. So for 1, 2, 3, I have already given an example in the same video, okay, so you can just go through it. It will contain totally 8 elements, okay. Over here also you can write the intervals. So we had discussed what are the open intervals, what are the closed intervals. This is also open, but this is going to infinity, from 6 to infinity. This is going from 5 to minus infinity. This is semi-open, this is semi-closed. All these type of intervals we have discussed. So wherever there is square bracket, we are including the endpoint, and wherever there is a round bracket, we are not including the endpoint. Okay, so that is what we have to remember. This is also a question which is based on cardinality. Okay, so the next questions that we have, which are slightly more different, in which we will find the values of x in the interval form. Okay, so over here you can see, obviously we are not going to solve this question like both the values together. So we just have to find the values, the range of x. Okay, so where does the values of x lie exactly? So 2x plus 7. So we can solve one of this question. So the question over here is minus 9 is less than, so minus 9 is less than 2x plus 7, that is less than or equal to 90. Let us see this question, how to solve this question. Okay, so over here what we will do is we will solve this part by part. We will first of all compare minus 9 with 2x plus 7 and find the values of x. and then we will compare 2x plus 7 to 19 and get the values of x. So I can write it as minus 9 is less than 2x plus 7 and 2x plus 7 is less than or equal to 19. So based on this, we will get the lower bound of x and the upper bound for x. Okay, let us solve this. You can see we can calculate 7 will come over here. You will get 2x is greater than minus 16. So that is x is greater than minus 8. Okay. Similarly, over here you can see that 2x will be less than or equal to 12. X is less than or equal to 6. So finally, what are we getting? Okay. So what are the values of x that we are getting? X is less than or equal to 6 over here. So we can say that x is greater than minus 8, but it is less than or equal to 6. Okay, so it is less than or equal to 6. So what does that mean? Okay, so when we are saying it is less than or equal to, so that means it is square bracket at 6 but round bracket at minus 8. So finally we can say x belongs to round bracket at minus 8 and square bracket at 6. So we are including 6 in the answer, but we are not including minus 8. Okay, so this is how we will solve the question. So this is how we find the interval for x. So one more important question that we have over here is this, the second question over here and the fourth question from over here. These are also a few important questions. Questions of this type are also there in our 12th standard. Okay, the topic might be different. It is differentiation when we are discussing increasing and decreasing function, maxima and minima. That time we will have this type of questions also there. Okay, so these type of questions are also there in our 12th standard. So see to it that we practice these type of questions. So the values that we have is x square minus x is greater than 20. Let us solve this question also so that you get an idea. So x square minus x is greater than 20. So how to solve this question? Obviously we will try to solve it as a quadratic equation. So I can write it as x square minus x minus 20 is greater than 0. So can you see we can factorize this? Okay, this is a quadratic equation. It can be factorized by 4s. So I will get x minus 5 x plus 4 and this is greater than 20. When I'm saying it is greater than 20, what does that mean? Oh sorry, greater than 0. When I'm saying that it is greater than 0, what does that mean? It means that the value is positive. Okay, so this entire value is positive, greater than 0. So when can I say two numbers multiplied, I will get a positive value? Okay, when will we get a positive value if two values are multiplied? So there are two cases for this. Case 1, if both the values are positive. So x minus 5 is greater than 0 and x plus 4 is also greater than 0. And what is the second case possible is x minus 5 is less than 0 and x plus 4 is less than 0. So both positive values when multiplied, we will get a positive answer, and both negative values when multiplied, still we will get a positive answer. So these are the possibilities. So if I solve this further, I will get x is greater than 5 and x is greater than minus 4. So I am emphasizing that there is a and over here. So the values of x should satisfy both the conditions. The value of x should be greater than 5 and it should be greater than minus 4. What can we say? If I select a value which is greater than 5, obviously the value will be greater than minus 4 as well. So it is enough if I select x is greater than 5. That means it is going from 5 to infinity. And similarly, when we are solving for the second part, I can say x is less than 5 and x is less than minus 4. Once again, the important word over here is and. When I'm saying the value is less than minus 4 and it is less than 5, it is obviously understood if I select a value which is less than minus 4, obviously it is going to be less than 5. Okay, so it is enough if I select a value which is less than minus 4. So x is less than minus 4. So the value is actually going from minus 4 to minus infinity, or we can say it is from minus infinity to minus 4. So what is the final answer that we are getting? Minus infinity to minus 4 union pi to infinity. All these are the possible values of x. So this is what the value of x belongs to. So the x belongs to this interval minus infinity to minus 4 and from 5 to infinity. So these are the required values. Okay. So hopefully this type of question is also understood by everyone. So like I said, we have to practice the second and the fourth question also. Of course, the third question also is slightly important. So try to practice all these questions. Okay. So when we are seeing the chapter of set, so like I said, question number 7, 8, 9, 10, these are the questions which are generally asked many times in the college exams. Of course, question number 14, this is useful for a 12th standard also. Okay, and you can practice question number 15. It is not that difficult. You can find the union intersection. These are fairly easy questions. Let us now go to the next topic, that is of a relation. So to understand a relation, you should understand what is the product of set. You should know what is ordered pair. Okay, so the product of set or the Cartesian product of set, ordered pairs. So these are fairly simple questions. Ordered pair, you just have to compare the values. Okay, so the first value will be compared to the first value, the second value will be compared to the second value. So ordered pair, a pair which is ordered, order specific. Okay, Cartesian product, it is very simple. The product of two set is actually ordered pairs in which the first element is taken from the first set and the second element is taken from the second set. So this is what the definition is. Okay, so finding the product is very easy, and any subset of such a product set is called a relation. Okay, so what is a relation? It is actually a subset. Okay, so over here the definition is given over here, well defined relation. Okay, it is just a set, a subset of the ordered pairs. Okay, a subset of the product of the set A and B is a relation from A to B. Okay, so this is the definition that is given to us about a relation. All the first elements in the relation, they will be counted in the domain, and all the second elements will be counted in the range part of it. Okay, so these are all the important questions that we have, okay, related to a relation. Okay, codomain, the second set is always called the codomain. Okay, so these are the definitions that we have, okay, about relation. If you see this exercise, the first question itself, many of the questions, at least up to question number 8, all the questions are very easy. The chapter itself is so easy that it is containing only a few formulas of cardinality. That's it. Okay, relation, very easy. You just have to compare. Over here I will be comparing x minus 1 to 1, y plus 4 to 2. X minus 1 will be equal to 1, so x will be equal to 2, y will be equal to minus 2. We just have to compare the first term to the first term, second term to the second term to get the required values. Okay, finding the product of set, like I said, how do we find the product of set? It is by, okay, writing the ordered pairs. A set which contains say A, B and C. Okay, you can see over here. Okay, a set contains A, B, C. The second set contains X, Y. What is the ordered pair? Obviously that is A comma X, A comma Y. Okay, so a set contains A, B, C, and set B contains X, Y. Okay, so it contains X, Y. So what will be the product of the set A cross B? Okay, so the product of A and B, it will contain all the ordered pairs in which the first element will be from set A and the second element will be from set B. So it will be A comma X, A comma Y, B comma X, B comma Y, C comma X and C comma Y. That's it. If I am finding B cross A, obviously the first element will be coming from B and the second element will be coming from A. So that will be X comma A, X comma B, X comma C, Y comma A, Y comma B and Y comma C. So this will be the product of the set B cross A. Of course we can find A cross A comma A, A comma B, A comma C, B comma A, B comma B, B comma C, and C comma A, C comma B, C comma C. So we can find A cross A, we can find B cross B as well. So this is how we find the product of set. Same in this second question also, in the fourth question also. But over here there is a small difference, there is a comma over here. It is not 14, it is 1 comma 4 actually. So it is 1 comma 1, 1 comma 4, 2 comma 1, 2 comma 4, 3 comma 1, 3 comma 4. That will be P cross Q. We can find Q cross P as well. Same way we have this question number 5. Now obviously in this exercise question number 5 is slightly more important, because in this we have to verify. Again, we know how to verify the questions. So we will be first solving the LHS part and we will be solving the RHS part. LHS part will be taken as equation number 1, RHS part will be taken as equation number 2, and then we can compare that equation 1 is equal to equation 2. So that is how we will verify LHS equal to RHS. So this is also a very easy question, but it is a very important question. Okay, so see to it that you practice this question very well. Next is finding the relations over here in the question number 6. You can see x comma y, x square plus y square equal to 100. So what are the elements in whole numbers for which the addition of the squares will be equal to 100? So sum of the squares should be equal to 100. So what are the elements, the sum of whose squares are 100? So obviously one possible answer is 0 comma 10. 10 comma 0 is also possible. Next is 6 comma 8, and there is 8 comma 6. So these are the elements that we will have in this relation. So it is 0 comma 10, 10 comma 0, 6, 8, 8, 6. We can find the domain and the range also, but the question does not ask us to find the domain and range. But of course we can find the domain and range, no doubt in that. Okay. Next is similar question over here. You can see, okay, question number 7. Set A is given, set B is given. We have to find a relation which contains the relation R1. It will contain all the elements A comma B for which A minus B is an even number. Okay, A minus B is an even number. But what we will get is there is no element for which when we subtract them we will get an even number. So that is why this relation will be an empty relation, null relation. It will not contain any element. And when A plus B is an odd number, you will see that all the elements in A cross B comes in the universal relation. So this is also a very easy question to solve and easy value possible. Okay. So the next question that we have, the question number 8. Okay. There is a relation given to us R1. We have to write the elements in the roster form, that is the list method, and we have to find the domain and the range also. So you can see what is given. The elements are of the form A comma A square, where A is a prime number and it should be less than 15. So A comma A square, and the element should be prime number less than 15. Okay, so A comma A square. So the elements of the form A comma A square. Of course, A is prime less than 15. Okay, so this is what is given to us. What are the elements which are possible? Okay, of course we cannot start from 1. 1 is not a prime number, so we will start with 2. So it is 2 comma 4 because the second element is of the form A square. Next will be 3 comma 9. Okay, so the second element is always A square. Next is 5 comma 25. We have 7 comma 49, 11 comma 121, and 13 comma 169. So these are the elements that we are getting. What will be the domain of this? Okay, so what will be the domain? Domain will be the set of the first elements. So that is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13. And what will be the range? The range will be the elements, the second element. So that will be 4, 9, 25, 49, 11, and 121 and 160. So these are the second elements. So that will form the range. So this is what we are supposed to do in this question. We are supposed to find the elements in the relation, write it in the roster form, that is a list method, and we will be finding the domain and range. What are the first elements in the relation and what are the second elements in the relation? Okay, so that is it, what we are supposed to do. Okay, so over here you can see the second question R2. It will contain the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the first value, and the second value will be 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4 and 1 by 5. Okay, because the elements are of the form a comma 1 by a. Similarly, we can solve for the rest of the questions. So the remaining questions are also very easy. The questions that you should practice is 1, 2, definitely you should practice these two questions. 4 is also an important question. 5, 6. Okay, so these are all very easy questions. You should practice these questions for your exam and you will be able to attempt the questions of sets and relations very easily. So the last question that we have over here is this, in which we are trying to identify the reflexive, symmetric and transitive relations. Now this question is not that important because these questions, this question at least, is not asked much in the college exams. Okay, but if you are trying to attempt entrance level questions, JEE exams, then of course you have to be thorough with reflexive, symmetric and the transitive properties of a relation. So you should practice this question if you're trying to attempt the questions which are there in your JEE questions. Okay, so if you are trying to practice for entrance level exams, of course you should practice the 9th question. Else, if you are just preparing for your college exams, 9th question might not be asked in your like college exams. Mostly it is never asked. Okay, so hopefully this video helps you out in your last minute revision when you're trying to prepare for your exams. You can just go through this. In this I have discussed what all questions are important, also what all questions should be practiced, and we have discussed a few questions also so that you can go through the last minute revision. So thank you everyone for watching this video. As I always say, if you're studying, let's study live.